Hello coders, we are going to demonstrate using the IPO model with the Coral programming language and using the workspace within your zyBook. And so if you want to code along, you can go to your zyBook lab space. We're looking at the Coral workspace in chapter 1 and open up that workspace. The wording on this page is just telling you this is an optional section that you can use for your lab assignments, which we are going to do at this time. The scenario that we're going to use is to calculate the total bill given the number of items and the price per item. Some examples, and this would be like calculating your test data beforehand, would be 20 items at $1.10 would be $22. 4 items at $23.45 would be $93.80. So let's go ahead and get started with this coding. We are also demonstrating some beginning programming concepts that you may or may not be aware of. And so from the very beginning, we are going to expect that you include a course comment. Your instructor will include details on that for your particular course. They will maybe follow exactly what's in our course on Canvas, or they might have their own that they want you to use, but you need to add your course comment. In order to add a comment, you use these 2 forward slashes. That creates a single comment statement. Next, because Coral is a structured language that is what we call strongly typed, we have to have a declaration section. And we're going to declare variables of 2 different data types. This might be a new concept to you, but integer is going to be a data type that's whole numbers. So the total number of items that we are going to purchase is going to be declared as an integer. So a couple of things here. Number 1, I am using camel casing to name these variables. I start with a lowercase letter. Each word after that is uppercased. That's called camel casing, and we will use that as a what we call a convention for naming variables in this course. Integer is a specific data type, and integers are going to basically be non-decimals. They don't have any decimal portion. Float is our second data type, and floats have a decimal portion. And so we're going to have the price of the item, or item price, and then we have to calculate our total bill. So we have 3 variables declared. In a strongly typed language, you must declare the variables before they are used. Coral will force you to declare the variables first. The other thing that we will have in Coral is we will have an input window. We will not do interactive input from the keyboard. We're going to use this input window over here on the right-hand side. And so in order to get the values of the number of items and the prices, I am going to copy this variable. If you have a tendency to make a lot of typos, that's a hint for you, is to copy. And then the command in Coral for getting input is literally the words get, next, input. And it has to start with a capital G. You will learn and you will use what's called the Coral language. And this particular language, will show you what's called the specification page, has very special syntax for input statements. So an input statement must be in this format: variable on the left, get next input on the right. And then you can see the variable declaration statement here. The variable, the data type is first, and then the name of the variable, which is called an identifier, is second, and we just saw those. And then the output statement has to have this syntax. You start with a put, capital P, whatever you want to output, and then the words to output. Lastly, we are also going to look at this assignment statement. An assignment statement has a variable on the left, a single equal sign, and an expression on the right. And so we are looking at this Coral specifications page. There's a link to this on our Canvas page. And these 4 are going to allow us to create a bare bones program that we are creating right now. So if we go ahead and take a look at our next input, I'm also going to input the item price. And so we don't know what these are. I did remember I said I'm going to get 20 items at $1.10, and I know that the output's going to be $22. Right now, though, I'm going to teach you like an amazing trick for when you guys are coding, and that is what we call incremental development. And so I'm going to test this code out right now. In Coral, I can put the execution speed. I'm going to leave it on medium for right now, and I'm going to enter execution, and immediately all of my variables that are declared come up here. And if I click run, it's going to run the program, and it's going to show me if those variable values right here, did 20 get placed into number of items? Yes. Did $1.10 get placed into item price? Yes. So I know that my program is working thus far. There's also, if we click start again, the step mode, which we will ask you to use from time to time. The step mode steps through the code one line of code at a time, so you have more control and you can investigate a little bit more about what the code is then doing. Those two features make it very, very nice to work and debug in this language. So I'm going to exit execution now, and we're going to go ahead and do our calculations. So we have declarations. We just did input, and please notice I just added a line of white space between my course comment, before my input, and now I'm going to do processing, and I'm going to add a line of white space. That makes my code more readable. So my processing is going to be to calculate the total bill, and I'm just going to use my regular mathematics. I'm going to multiply the number of items times item price. Please note I'm using an asterisk there. In programming, an asterisk designates the multiplication symbol. And lastly, I'm going to do output. And the output in Coral is, again, a special command. I can put words, anything I want to literally type to the screen inside quotes. So I'm going to do total bill, colon, and please notice I'm putting a space right here. I then have to use the words to output. That is my syntax for my Coral output line. I'm going to make some mistakes on purpose here for the next line to show you what will happen if I don't type it correctly. So I've got two output statements. One is going to print this text, whatever I put inside quotes, it will put that text to the screen. We call that a literal. And then this is outputting the value that's stored in total bill, which I don't know if that's going to be calculated correctly yet. So let's go ahead and enter the execution, except it won't let me calculate. So we got a couple of things here. Unknown word, number of item, and that is a typo. I did not spell it correctly. I need to have the S on it. So whenever you get this unknown word, that's a clue that you have a typo, that it can't find the variable. Again, that might be a benefit to using the copy and paste, which you notice I didn't on that particular line of code. All right, I'm going to try to enter execution again, and it says, sorry, unknown word put. Except we say, well, put's not unknown. We know what put is, but it's looking for a capital P on put, which is now telling us that Coral is case sensitive. So it matters whether we have an uppercase or a lowercase. We're going to try one more time to enter this. And now it says, sorry, but the expected output format is put, string or variable, to output. So what's inside those angle brackets is what you put in there, but the other lines of code are required, or the other syntax is required. So we're going to do to output, if I can type it correctly. Now I think I have all of my code running. It's going to, as soon as I click run here, we're going to see it step through the program, and we're going to look to see if it produces $22, because we know that that's what the output should be. And so total bill is 22. Now, the only thing is I didn't designate this with a $sign. So if I wanted to be a little bit better with my labeling, I'd go ahead and enter the execution and let it run. And you can speed it up if you would like to see it run a little bit faster. And so that produced the output. You are going to be doing something similar with one of your programs in the near future, where you need to declare some variables. You may have to choose the correct data types, or that might be set up for you. You will need to input using the Get Next Input, and you will use this interactive window over here in Coral. One common difficulty that we sometimes have as beginner programmers is understanding this input window. These inputs are going to be, you saw them get stored to these variables, but sometimes what happens is you try to assign these specific values to the code or the variables here, and then when you run your code, we will still get the $22 as this particular scenario would expect. But when I change to a different scenario, which was my 4 items, exit execution, I don't remember what I said, 4 items at $23.45, I think it was. And that's supposed to be somewhere like 90 some dollars. If I execute this code, when I changed my input here, but I go ahead and run this, it's still using the 20 and the $1.10 and still giving me $22 instead of my $93.80, which is what we would be expecting. So one common error when you're first learning how to code is that you try to hard code or put the values that you want into your code as an assignment statement rather than using that get next input. And so make sure that you are using the interactive get next input, because that makes your program work for any scenario. And now when I run the code, I should get my $93 or $93.80 for my expected total bill as I calculated prior to running my code. So this video has summarized using the input-output processing model. It showed you how to create variables of 2 different data types. It showed you how to use get next input for the interactive input panel. It showed you how to do a calculation using assignment statements, and it showed you how to do output. So hopefully this gets you off to a great start with coding in the Coral environment, which you'll be doing shortly with one of your programs.